Peace and love, everybody. It's your man, Manny Faces, with another episode of Hip Hop Innovates with Manny Faces. Look, today, don't tell me that hip hop is bad for the youth, right? Don't tell me that hip hop is bad for young people, right? I don't care if you're in hip hop or outside of hip hop, whether you're a fan of hip hop or you know nothing about hip hop, whether you are an old school hip hop head or new school, trap fro beat kind of hip hop head. Hip hop is not bad for the youth. Hip hop can be great for the youth. All right. It's like anything else. And I talked about this a couple episodes back when President Barack Obama had used some negative imagery that's associated with hip hop as examples of, ways to not carry yourself as a young black man in America. And I thought that was unfair. And I think that anyone telling anyone that hip hop is bad for the youth is only telling a very biased part of the story, right? By your logic, if hip hop can be bad for the youth, then it can also be good for the youth, right? If it can negatively influence young people, it can positively influence young people. But what you often think, or you often hear, is that doesn't happen. That all you see is the negative stuff, that all you hear is music that doesn't align with your tastes, right? But we don't talk about enough the way that hip hop is being used to actually benefit youth, to actually improve the lives and livelihoods and communities of youth in school, in education, in counseling. I'm going to talk about one organization today as an example of this. This is what I do on this video series, Hip Hop Innovates. I'm coming to you like every weekday, the best that I can, and just giving you quick snippets. Put something in your head, seed, let it grow, and then you can follow up and check it out yourself. Urban Art Beat. They're celebrating they're having a gala. Is it gala or gala? I don't know. I don't go to too many galas to know. Tonight. So shouts to them. They're doing fundraising. They've been around for a very long time. And what they do is they incorporate hip hop into all of these things: social justice, youth empowerment, education. So they're a platform for creative expression, partnering talented artists and dedicated volunteers with underserved schools, detention centers, prisons, and organizations. They believe that creative expression through the arts has the potential to enhance the mind, spirit, and artistic energy of our youth and engage them in shaping a vision for their community's future. This is what hip hop is doing. This isn't new. They've been doing it for a long time. They have a summer camp program. This year, they're raising funds for summer camp. Hip hop for social justice, right? Again, we talk about civic engagement at a time when that is so important. You don't see civic engagement being taught in schools, right? You see, pardon me. You see Dr. Bettina Love, hip hop civics ed, teaching what they're not teaching in school, filling in that gap. That's only happening. I don't say only, but that's largely happening through hip hop, through these programs. And it happens effectively because hip hop is a way it's not a gimmick. This isn't like, hey, let's do some rap songs and tell them up. No, it's not a gimmick. It's a lifestyle. It's a language. It's a way of life. It's sensibilities that young people and some older people live by. So you can't just come in here and say, here's some rap songs. Remember these words. You have to have artists, teaching artists, volunteers that have these sensibilities come in and work with these youth. But if you do that, it opens up their minds. It opens up their perspectives. It lets them know that they can reach new heights. It happens all the time. Urban Art Beat. Check them out. They'll tell you. They'll give you case study upon case study upon case study. Promise you. So now I'm in New York. They're in New York. It doesn't really help you if you're outside of New York. I'm going to come back and give more examples of organizations that do this. Hashtag Hip Hop Innovates. And let me know your favorite youth-oriented, hip-hop-based organization that's doing things to enhance the lives of the youth. Because all we hear about is how negative and how destructive and how, harmful hip-hop can be. It's wrong. And when we do that, it makes these organizations' jobs even harder because they have to raise funds. They have to get into schools and into organizations and go into juvenile detention centers and find ways into these institutions that may look at hip-hop and say, I don't want that garbage here. I don't want my young people in school to be affected negatively. Why would we bring hip hop in? They just don't know because not enough people talk about it. So, Urban Art Beat, check them out. Say hi to them. Tell them Manny Faces sent you. right? The other thing is that if you want to find out more about organizations like Urban Heartbeat and more stories like what I'm telling you exist about how hip hop really does benefit the youth, benefits society, benefits humanity, hiphopadvocacy.org. Sign up for the newsletter. It's called the Hip Hop Advocate. It's called the Hip Hop Advocate. It just went out. We just sent out a new episode. Matter of fact, let me show you the edition we just sent out. This just went out. It's the 40th one, right? I curate stories about hip hop innovation from around the web. I deliver them to you in a beautiful package in your inbox for free. And it look, everything, sad stories. Actually, when people pass away and they don't get notification. Here's Dondi, the underground graffiti legend, Nehanda Obiudun, right? I don't know exactly how to pronounce the name. I apologize. Cuban hip hop, revolutionary. There's so much in her story. Passed away. This touches hip hop. You won't find it in hip hop blogs or magazines. You won't find it even mentioned 99% of the time. So how hip hop is being used as evidence, rap lyrics are being used as evidence in court. Like, that's a slippery slope. That's dangerous. And we're not talking about Tekashi 69. This is some Supreme Court stuff that's happening. So deeper stories about hip hop. Hip hop needs to be used in museums and in libraries and in universities. It's an op-ed that I wrote that is very important. Hip hop being used to understand neuroscience, mental health. Let's skip down. Business. Big news with De La Soul, Tommy Boy, streaming, money, advances, how we're being ripped off, how our artists are still being ripped off. Decades after the 60s and 70s, when black artists were treated poorly and companies were taking advantage, it still goes on. Swiss beats in the world of contemporary art, hip hop photography exhibitions happening, scientific breakdown of the weirdest hip hop samples. So we have music production, African American skate culture. There's a story on that on Vice that you might not have heard about. You definitely need to hear about from hip hop blogs or outlets, but that's hip hop. That's hip hop. Skate culture was big, foundational experience that hip hop rose out of. Hip hop and politics. Andre Vasquez running for alderman in Chicago. So all of these things can be found on the Hip Hop Advocate newsletter. I deliver them to you. They're not on your hip hop sites. The only one telling you about them, the only one in the world, 8 billion people collecting them and delivering them to you so that you know about the amazing innovation in hip hop or through hip hop is me. Please take my gift. Hiphopadvocacy.org. Sign up. I won't give your email address away. Let's keep it moving. My artist of the day, my man Napoleon, a legend. This guy is a prolific MC, an artist who speaks. I mean, he'll burn you with some lyrics. He can spit, right? But at the same time, there's social justice. There's observational tackling issues against like systemic racism, all in an intelligent, listenable, compelling way. I've worked with Napoleon, a legend, on the Newsbeat podcast, where we mix social justice journalism and hip hop. He's written original tracks about the movement to close youth prisons. Like you might have heard his song Black Privilege too. He puts out mixtape, like every 20 minutes he puts out a mixtape or a project, and it's dope, and he's smart and dope. I can't tell you enough. Anyway, Napoleon, a legend. Check him out. Find him on NapoleonAlegend.com. Team NDL on Twitter. My artist of the day, man. Y'all hear him. If you already know, then you know. It's just words can't always explain these things. And you should check him out. So that's it. This is Hip Hop Innovates with Many Faces. Hashtag Hip Hop Innovates. Who should I feature as an artist today? Artists that are super dope, going above and beyond, talking that talk, walking that walk. Oh, Napoleon, a legend. The reason why I picked him, works with Urban Heartbeat, has gone into the prisons and juvenile detention centers and work with the youth through hip hop. And I guarantee you, change and save lives. Anyway, that's it for me today. Hip Hop Innovates with Many Faces. I'll be back soon. Catch y'all soon. Monday, I guess. Peace.